What's going on, guys? Jurassic here. Today we're back to EVE Online. Today we are going to be doing the Soldiers of Fortune faction line, which seems to be another combat-oriented one. So it should be interesting. We are going to be using our brand new frigate, which has so many slots that we are actually almost full of different abilities, and the ship is able to go so much faster than the default Corvette. Now, we have a micro warp drive, which we turn this on and our ship can go very fast. All the way up to 2,744 speed. I think before our previous episode, our max speed was like 650. So this we're way faster. And we have better armor. We're not actually able to put 3 guns on the ship though, even though there's 3 slots for it. It only holds 2 guns still. So it has 1 slot for another primary weapon. That looks really cool. I don't see why you wouldn't want to have your ship going as fast as possible. So we'll turn this on to get caught up. Wait for it. Alright, so we go boom, and you use both of our cannons. I don't think we necessarily need to have the afterburner on for the time being though, especially since we're just completely circled this guy. And target is eliminated. We have another one approaching though. Yeah, we'll just use both cannons on the same guy. It'll be much faster. We'll lock him down, blow him up, and move on. Now, I do recommend doing all of the career programs to get like the max amount of loot before you move out inside the open world, so we're probably going to be doing that. However, this one seems to be a lot more combat focused, so we might try to do like several missions in one like we were doing with the Enforcers. And eventually we can actually get into like PvP inside the game too, which would be kind of interesting to see how that actually works out for us. They have like corporations that you're able to join and a whole bunch of like unique stuff. Another target eliminated. That guy looks a little bit different. Everyone's classified as a hijacker though. I guess this ship just is slightly different compared to the other ones. Alright, so we have 186 bullets, so I mean, we haven't really used too much in our cannons either. And I guess the real question is, do most people actually do like all of the Enforcer missions in one go and then move on? Or do you guys do like one mission at a time in each of the different factions and work on all of them? Literally progressing at the same time. I feel like doing one all the way through allows you to get a frigate, so that's the best way to get caught up and be able to survive some of these other missions. Alright, start the conversation. We'll complete our first mission. She gives us a little bit of cash. Good work out there. As a show of thanks, my friend passed along part of the blackmail money he'd accumulated. You're clearly ready for the bigger things, so let me know when you're ready to learn more. We've discovered the headquarters of the pirate group that you dispatched in your last mission. It's time to take them out for good. I'm going to give you a frigate loaded with proximity-based explosive charges, and your job is to fly it directly into the HQ. Fly your frigate your agent gave you into the pirate base. Once the explosive charges inside have been set off, your assignment will be complete. Wait, so am I supposed to die with it? So the one thing that's really unique about this mission is this is the first time that we boarded a new ship and it's like, you don't want to upgrade it or anything? Kind of a shame because it's a cool looking ship. Alright, so far the mission just said approach the hideout. There is several enemies here. We can always warp back if we need to, but she said something about the thing blowing up, so I don't want to put like any upgrades on it. I think this thing's literally just going to be a suicide bomber. Wow. Now I will say the explosions in the game look really cool. Now I'm wondering, is she going to eventually give us that frigate for free? Because that's just insane that she's like, oh yeah, here, take this ship, blow it up, it'll be fine. Good work, you seen yourself that losing a ship isn't the end of the world. You capsulers have a saying though, don't fly what you can't afford to lose. If you stick to affordable ships and modules, you'll be able to learn without risking everything you own. When you're ready for another assignment, let me know. As long as you don't make me blow my own stuff up, I am happy. Next up is kind of an interdiction called warp disruption. When activated on another targeted ship, these kind of modules tackle it, disabling its warp drive. Tackling only works if you keep a target within your module's range. It can overpower its warp strength. A warp disruptor allows a ship's warp strength by 1, while the more powerful warp scrambler module reduces it by 2. I'll give you a civilian warp disruptor to test out on a pirate that escaped from the headquarters you just blew up. Pin him down, but don't blow him up. Objective: find the fleeing pirate and activate your civilian warp disruptor on him, preventing an escape. You're authorized to kill any escort vessels that you see, but not the primary target. Okay, so we have to use this civilian warp disruptor. It's going to be a mid-power one, so we're actually pretty good. We can just slap it into that slot, call it good. Alright, so one's called the fleeing pirate, the rest are just going to be angel rookies. I mean, honestly, we should be able just to click orbit and catch up to this dude super fast. Alright, now what is the range on this guy? 20 kilometers, so we actually don't really have to get too far to do our warp disruptor here. So we can actually activate it now. Wait for it to turn on. Hey, alright, please don't shoot me, I'll leave, just let me go. Nicely done, Cretaceous. It looks like our pirate friends got the message loud and clear. Hopefully you understand the basics of warp disruption now. There's more of it, but regardless of how each different type of module works, the principle is always the same. Pin them down and keep them there. Next up, I want to show you something a little bit more defensive end of things. Let me know when you're ready for the next assignment. Defensive. A vessel nearby was attacked by pirates, with the only survivor left for a dead and disabled vessel. We need you to repair his ship with a remote shield booster module so you can return safely. Let me stress again that you are to repair the vessel, not blow it up. And the encapsulators have an itchy trigger finger at the best of times. Me blow something up, never. Alright, so civilian shield booster, interesting. High power, alright, we can do high power. Perfect. So that's what that slot's for. I was wondering why we have 3 slots there. Alright, so we're supposed to orbit the damaged vessel here, so let's go and do that. And it should be you, civilian, what is optimal range, 4,000? So we'll slowly start to stop the ship. By the time we stop, we should be within range here. Roughly. Okay, so it is working, nice! Basic systems operation, once again, we have a functional workshop. Thank you, pilot, I owe you one, I'm getting out of here. Good work out there. Our agents have reported a safe journey back home. I hope you've come to learn something in the process too. Arrange for a skill book to be made available to you as a reward. If you're interested in the use of a shield transfer module, then you'll want to train it up eventually. Alright, the next assignment is going to test your nerves. We're sending you into a much larger and better defended pirate base. It is unlikely you will defeat all the forces, just put up the best fight you can before being destroyed. I'll provide you with a combat frigate. You'll have to finish with your own modules. I'd keep the fittings cheap. You're not expected to come out of one tack. Although we do expect you to make at least 1 kill. Let me stress this point, Cretaceous. We want you to kill at least 1 pirate and then hold out as long as you can, so you may not leave the area until your ship has been destroyed, or by some miracle you survive the fight using the frigate I'm giving you, since if you lose your own, I will not replace it. Alright, so you know what? I got a plan here. So we're going to use our regular cannon, we'll put some bullets in him, then we'll do a civilian cannon. And the funny thing is, I mean, I guess if you really wanted to keep this ship alive, you could fully upgrade it. But the thing is, you get a free one anyways from doing the enforcers, so you don't necessarily need to do too much to keep this one alive. That guy got a lucky shot off. That's a far distance for his cannon. 8, 7, 6. There we go. Frigate might be a little bit slow. It's kind of weird. It's the same speed as the Corvette. Oh, that wasn't good. Alright, so we are doing a lot more damage to him compared to us though, so that's a good sign. It's just he has, it looks like, a little bit further range cannon on his weapons. What on earth is he hitting us with? We don't have our armor repair guy, so the only way to actually deal with this mission is going to be to jump back and forth. But it sounded like she wasn't going to give us the choice of actually retreating back. Alright, so the fighter is almost fully destroyed. His armor is stripped, and now it's just going to be mostly the structure remaining. It says 7% armor, even though it's just ignoring it, so I think that's just a bugged out thing. Nice! Hold out as long as you can. Alright, so we got spider drones approaching. You know what? You're the closest one. Seven, hold on. Come on, ship, get there. Over debuff, sensor damage. Ooh. Webified. Alright, so that's why we're like sort of stuck, just like floating around in the same spot. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to it. So the problem is they're a little bit too far out of range for us to actually shoot anything, and we're just like stuck not being able to move. We're like caught in a web. Alright, so that's 64. You know what? This guy's much better. Okay, get the heck out of there. Not bad, Cretaceous. You did well out there. No, we didn't. Against overwhelming odds. Hopefully that you'll be allowed to wrestle with the threat of a ship loss. In these early days, you probably won't find yourself in such a challenging situation, but it's helpful to know how to face them. Whether you lose a ship or not, you can always rise to the next challenge. Welcome back. Now we're good for speed. You can use two types of active propulsion modules, afterburners, and their bigger brother, the micro warp drive. We're able to teach you how to use the afterburners. Afterburners don't increase your speed as drastically as micro warp drives, but they suffer less penalties. They use only a moderate amount of capacity to run and cannot be disabled by warp scramblers. Afterburners are also much easier to fit onto your ship. They're less of a power grid and less CPU and have no fitting penalties. You've got an area riddled with dangerous electromagnetic interfaces that will damage your ship periodically. Your task is to fly through the clouds of EM disturbances using an afterburner and make it to the other side in one piece. So I mean, we might as well go for this. And you. Alright, once you enter that next area, you should see an asteroid system. Head to that as quickly as you can. The area surrounding it will be dangerous, but once you make it to the station itself, you'll be safe. I am kind of curious though, would we have been able to use our micro warp drive? Because it sounded like in the description it just wasn't going to work that way. I can't use two? Oh man. Alright, so let's do approach. Or maximum speed. So apparently I don't have the research enabled to turn on two different boosters at once. So this is going to be interesting. We're only going to be able to go 600... I know, 557. So we don't have the little booster on. Our shield's slowly going to get chunked away. 15 kilometers to the target. So I think we're just barely going to make it there without getting our ship completely destroyed here. So our armor's dropping down to 87. I think once we get within like 3,000 meters, we'll be fine. 75% armor. By the way, if you guys are curious, most things you can just drive directly through. Good work, you're done. Report back to me. Alright, so we get a little bit of rewards here. Good work, you made it through the gauntlet alive. You should take a moment to consider all that you've learned so far and how it all ties together. No module works in isolation. Warp scramblers, for example, the close range interdiction modules don't work well unless you close in on your enemy. And for that, you need an afterburner. Similarly, if you're using a warp disruptor, the longer range variants, you will perhaps want to keep your enemy away from you. So again, afterburners become useful. Dictating range is a crucial aspect of any engagement, but when you are tackling it, it becomes particularly important. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.